Delivering your ideas to a client can be something that's time consuming and therefore can be quite expensive, especially if you're not charging your client for this whole process. So let me show you how we can take Relume and we can take the new feature that's coming soon called Style Guides and how we can use this to speed up that process and make it something that's a lot less painful than it may be already. So if you're new to Relume, there are three aspects to the whole process. There's sitemaps, there's wireframes, and there's the style guide, which is what we're going to focus on today. But let me quickly show you the first two if you're new to Relume, just to give you the TLDR on exactly what it can do for you. So I've logged into my Relume account, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. This will give us an introduction if we're new to the whole process, but we're going to say we're fine, let's just start building. So this is the sort of home page that you have when you create a project. Across the top, you've got your sitemap, your wireframe, and your style guide. We're going to start off with the sitemap. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the AI assistant to tell it exactly what our website is about. So for our example today, we're going to develop high quality documentation to help web designers speed up their client acquisition and onboarding process. Number of pages, we'll leave this set to 1 to 5, that's fine. And we'll set this to be English UK. And we'll click Generate Sitemap. This is then going to generate what it considers to be a typical sitemap, including the sections for each of the pages inside that sitemap. Okay, after a few moments, you can see there's our home page, all the sections broken down. And if we take a look underneath, you can see it's considering the About Us, Service, Blog, and Blog Post. All we need to do is say we want to generate content, for example, the About page. We can do the same thing then for the Services. And we'll say we don't want to have a blog on there, so we can remove that from here. Just hit delete and it's gone. So we're down to 3 pages, which is perfectly fine. So this then shows us our wireframe. We've got our different sections, so our navbar, hero header, and so on. We can click and we can move these around if we want. Simple as that, drag and drop. If you don't want something, let's say for example, we don't want a team section, it's just us. Hit delete and it's gone. You can also select any of these and choose different options to set this as a global section and so on. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail, like I say. If you want a full tutorial on how to use Relume, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll create something if enough people are interested. So let's say we're happy with this whole setup. The next thing is we're going to move on to the wireframe. So let's choose the wireframe option, and this is then going to design a mock-up of the wireframe of each of those different pages using that section layout that we've just chosen. And the cool thing with this is it's all still editable. We don't have to have exactly what's on here. We can still click and move these around if we want to, so you've got a visual way of seeing what these are going to look like. We can just simply zoom in to get a better representation, position them where we want, like I say, so we can customize the look and feel of all of this. You can add new sections in, so you can simply come over, click the plus, add a new section, so you can see we've got things like blanks, navbars, footers, heroes, headers, and so on. And there's tons of options inside here. So let's just say we want to put something like a pricing section inside here. We can choose the option, scroll through until we find something. We'll say we like the look of this one. We'll click to add that in. We'll position it where we want. Job done. We've now added that section in, and everything is still editable inside here. So you can see you can customize it, you can do what you want. Then when you're ready, if you want to, you can simply export this over to something like Figma, and you can then start to build this out, adding your own global classes and all those kinds of cool things. But let's just say that you are at a point now where you think, actually, I like the look of this layout, but I want to get some client feedback before I move on to customizing this any further. But you then hand it over to the client and they go, hey, it looks great, but what is it going to look like with images in, with text and colors and so on? I can't really envisage what it's going to look like as a real website. This is where the new style guide, which is currently in beta, comes in handy. Now, before we go any further, a quick word from today's video sponsor. Are you looking for a hosting partner that takes speed and security seriously? Then look no further than Kinsta. Their hosting not only delivers lightning fast performance and top tier security, but also provides you with powerful MyKinsta tools. These tools are designed to empower you, making it easy to manage your WordPress site with absolute confidence. And when you need help, they have a WordPress experts available 24/7. No bots, just real answers and real support from people who understand WordPress. It's no wonder they rated 4.8 stars on G2 with over 740 reviews from satisfied users. This high rating and positive feedback should give you the confidence to trust in their services. Kinsta, the hosting solution that's fast, secure, and always backed by real support. Get started now using the link in the description below. Okay, let's get back on with today's video. All we need to do is set any of these pages our home page, hit the style guide option, and that will then take us into the style guide kind of builder. Now, the cool thing with this is we can customize the colors based upon our actual client's brand colors if they supply them. And the same thing goes for our logos. So, okay, let's take a look at breaking things down. On the left-hand side, the main section here, you can see we've got our colors, our typography, and at some point we'll have the UI elements, things like buttons and things like that, forms and things, and also the card designs and images and things. So hopefully these won't be too long before these roll out and we get access to them. But right now, let's take a look at what we do have. First of all, we've got the light theme and dark theme. So you can easily show whichever you think is going to be relevant to the client, or you can give them the ability to have both designs and then have a switch inside the actual project itself to allow people to switch between light and dark mode. You can, if you want to, hit surprise me. So if these colors are, you just kind of get some ideas and you don't have any brand colors just yet, hit surprise me and all those colors will change. And now you can see we've got a variation on it in our dark mode, switched over to light mode, and you can see what it will look like. Now let's say you have some brand colors, but not everything. Well, let's say we've got the shocking pink and we want to change some of the colors, maybe get some inspiration using surprise me, but we need that color to be part of the overall design. Well, all we need to do, lock it, job done. Now hit, for example, surprise me or shuffle, and you see the other colors will change, but that's been locked in place, so that will not change. This is pretty cool. But obviously, if you want to change the colors, you have exactly what colors you need. It's very easy. You can either click, and that'll open up this panel, or if you want to, you can come over to the edit option, and that will do exactly the same thing. So we can unlock this if we want, click, make a change to the color. Let's say we want to make this our primary color is a kind of blue color. Let's go for something like this, like a tealy blue. Job done. We're happy with that. Now we can lock that in place. And if we want to change any other colors, we can carry on changing. And you can see it gives us the different shades that we can use. So it's very easy. You can see it'll show us all the colors. We can simply copy any of these hex values and use those in our design tool afterwards, whether that's Figma or straight into our actual design software that we're using to build the website. Now, the same thing kind of goes for our typography. You can see we've got these heading and body. Let's say we don't like it. Let's hit shuffle. And you see after a second or so, you get some different fonts and typography being used. And again, we can simply hit shuffle until we get what we want, or we can click inside and we can change to what we know we want. So again, if your client is supplying you with the actual typography they want to use, they've got their own style guide, you can use that here. So let's say we want to use Barlow in this example, that pulls that in now, and we've got our Barlow inside there. And you can see there's more options here to kind of filter out exactly what you want or don't want from the typography. You can favorite these, you can preview them. All manner of pretty cool options. Again, switch this into dark mode, see what it looks like. We've got the options to lock this in place. So we say we want that. We don't want that to change, but we want to see what other options come up for our body text, for example. Hit shuffle, and you can see that gives us some different options. What you can also do is you can come over into the main area and you can see you can click on shades. So you can adjust this again, using the kind of colors we have here, but shades of those colors. So if you want to kind of give a little bit of differentiation between the various different elements, it's very easy to do. And then when you're happy with this, you can just click to expand this out and you can see what it would look like as an actual full-featured, full-size kind of page. And again, you've got options underneath. You can see we can change pages, we can use the shades, the fonts, the images. So we want to use keyboard shortcuts to view it in this where we don't have a sort of split screen, especially good if you're working on smaller screens, you have that option available. Also, if you've got some branding, so say for example, you've got a logo from your client, well, you can come up to the logo option or the brand option, and inside there you can choose your logo. So I've got one, we'll upload this. And there's our logo added. You can see that now adds it into the design, and you can add one in via dark mode and so on. And you can customize the logo height and things. So maybe we want to make that a bit bigger, because all clients come along saying, I love the design, but could you make the logo bigger? Well, now you can easily make the logo bigger. So Relume, I've even thought of that. Now we've kind of got our first kind of prototype in mind. We're happy with where we are with this. Now, what you can do is you can come to the top right and you can see we've got concept one. Well, let's create a new concept. Let's click on there. And let's say we want to mix this up completely. Let's just shuffle this until we get something completely different. There we go. Let's shuffle our typography. Shuffle him again. Let's get something. Come on, let's give us a little bit creative. That'll do. So now we've got another design. We were happy with all of this. Well, let's go on now and say, let's add another concept. Let's just say we want to create a new concept. You kind of get the idea. Now, the cool thing with this is when you're ready to present this to your client, you can come up here and choose the option for top 3 concepts. Choose that, and now we get this kind of concept preview. You can copy this link, and you can provide this link then to your client, who will get a slightly different experience. Let's open an incognito window, pop that link inside there, and now they can see what this looks like. They can provide feedback, but they do need to log in and create an account, which can be totally free. But they can take a look at this and go, oh, I like the look of this, Paul. Let's have a full preview of this one. Oh, look, that's what it's going to look like. Pretty cool. Let's look at the next one. Nice. I like the look of that one as well. I'm not so fussed on that one. So let's close those down. Now, what I would love to see here is that when you open up one of these kind of concepts, the full preview actually gives you a full preview, as we saw in the other one. So we can see the full screen, we can scroll up and down, we can see exactly what it looks like. That would be nice to be able to sort of see that, as opposed to what we're kind of getting right now, which is a kind of simplistic view. But they're not restricted to just this view. You'll see across the top, they're looking at the style guide currently, but they can also go into the wireframe, so they can see exactly what's going on there. If they select something, let's say, for example, they don't like this heading, they want to change it, they can select it, and they can click the comment option. And then they can leave comments. Like I say, unfortunately, they do need to sign up for an account, but it is free. And once you kind of use this, if you're using this a lot with a range of different clients, at least you kind of have the ability for them to log back in with the same credentials and they can access it. You kind of get the idea. And then you have a list of the active comments and everything that's resolved once you resolve them, so they can split back and forth. And again, once they've created an account, they'll be able to track exactly your feedback inside you, what's been resolved and changed. They can come back in, provide more content, more comments, and so on. So it's a nice collaborative environment. And obviously you've got the sitemap option as well. So if they want to come in again, leave comments on here, they can leave comments here. But like I say, the style guide is where I think the most benefit is for a lot of clients, especially when they're not that kind of, they don't get the whole wireframe thing, which doesn't give them much information on what's going on. And the sitemap is completely sort of, I don't know what that is. You kind of get the idea. So let me give you my final thoughts on this new update with the style guide in Relume. If you've got clients that are not particularly good at understanding sitemaps and wireframes, I think this is a really nice addition to the whole platform. I love the simplicity of it. I love the fact you can add your own branding. You can lock those colors down. You can use what typography sets that you want, or you can lock those down again. So if you're given something by a client, you can lock those in place. I'm looking forward to seeing what these UI elements bring when they're released, so hopefully it won't be too long, and I will release an updated video covering those when they are released and I know about them. I also really do like the whole concept idea. I think that's a really useful way of being able to demonstrate what designs are going to look like to a client that, like I say, can't envisage sitemaps and wireframes. I also think it's a little bit limited at this point in time, unless for some reason this isn't working the way it should do for me, because it is still a beta. I would love to see these full previews actually show the full design. I do like the fact you can comment and you can leave feedback, and you and the clients can kind of have that feedback back and forth. I think it's nice. It's wrapped up in a clean, non-frightening interface, which I think is good, especially for those less tech-savvy clients. There's a lot of things to like about it, but like I say, it's still beta. There are still things that I would love to see being brought to the table, just to make this a fully featured way of being able to demonstrate and allow for feedback and collaboration. All in all, though, really, really good. And if you like this kind of content, we take a look at tools outside of WordPress itself, let me know in the comment section down below. I will cover Relume in a little bit more detail in future videos, but for now, that's what I wanted to show you. If you want to find out more about working with WordPress, check out this video next. As always, all applicable links are in the description. My name is Paul C. This is WPTuts. Until next time, take care.